Luis Ortiz was right to turn down the Anthony Joshua fight. Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Remstar Says So. Okay, so let's get right into this one. There's been a lot of sort of back and forth with this one. There's been a lot of hate going out, and now that we know that Apple Juice is fighting Andy Ruiz Jr., I thought it was the perfect time for me to sort of give my 10 cents into this one. I personally think that Luis Ortiz was right to turn that fight down, and the reason why is I haven't actually made a video in a while. Actually, I've been quite sort of busy with work and tied up doing other shit. I've been saying to my mates, because it's always easier to have a conversation than it is to record a video, edit it and stick it on YouTube. I've been saying to my mates straight off the bat that, look, no serious contender was going to put themselves forward to fight AJ on June 1st. The reason why I say this is because if you're a serious contender and you're coming to the ring thinking that you have an opportunity to win the three of the four major world heavyweight championship belts. Now, let's say, for example, if you're a serious contender and you're probably not in camp, haven't been scheduled for a fight, why would you then take up a fight with somebody who's going to have the best part of 12 to 14 weeks to prepare to take somebody's head off and come in and fight them at 5.5 weeks notice? It doesn't make any sense. And also, as much as whatever anybody wants to say, it was a lowball offer. The $5 million that Eddie Hearn offered Luis Ortiz was definitely lowball. The reason why I say this is because if you go back and look at Eddie Hearn's favourite rent boy and an interview that he done with him a couple of weeks back, he did say that whoever was going to step in to replace Jarrell Miller would get the full $6.5 million purse that Jarrell Miller was guaranteed, plus the upside, which I believe was supposed to be about 15% upside of sort of pay-per-view and other revenue streams. Now, all of a sudden, now you've offered Luis Ortiz, who hasn't been in camp, $5 million. That's $1.5 million less than what Jarrell Miller was getting, and only giving him, 5 weeks to prepare, 5.5 weeks? It doesn't make any sense. So if I was Luis Ortiz, I'd be like, you know what, mate, thanks, but no thanks. So what happened, it looks like it can sort of transpired that Luis Ortiz's team sort of said to Eddie Hearn, look, we'll take this fight at short notice, but, you know, it needs to be worth our while. And they sort of asked for $10 million. And it looks like Eddie Hearn sort of refused. It sounds like he wasn't even prepared to sort of budge on the $5 million and sort of do what he said he was going to do with his IFL interview and at least go up to 6.5. I reckon had there had been a bit of negotiation and Eddie Hearn was actually serious about fighting Luis Ortiz, I reckon that he might have got him in the ring for about $8 million. But, you know, he was sort of cemented in offering $5 million. I don't know if that's because the Zone and Sky Sports have sort of cut the money that they're putting into this fight because it's a short notice replacement. I genuinely don't know. But, you know, Luis Ortiz was offered $5 million and Luis Ortiz's team turned it down. It also transpired that Luis Ortiz and his management team have been offered a huge fight for around $5 million guaranteed for this year or the beginning of next year. Now, when you think about where Luis Ortiz is sort of co-managed and advised, he is part of the PBC stable and he is sort of advised by Al Heyman. So when I'm thinking about that, where could Luis Ortiz get $5 million from? The only thing I can really sort of expect would be Deontay Wilder rematch on Showtime box office pay-per-view, or even Fox Sports if Wilder hasn't signed a long-term sort of contract with Showtime. So, you know, it sort of makes sense why Ortiz would turn that fight down, because if he went on to lose to Joshua, which you would expect anybody stepping in the ring with 5 weeks notice is going to get their head sort of turned in, that might kill the Wilder fight. Now, let's say, for example, if you've got $5 million to fight Wilder and you've got a full training camp. I don't know how long do these guys do it for, 9, 12, 13, 14 weeks, however long he's decided, he's going to give himself the best opportunity to win. Whereas stepping into the ring, short-term notice to fight AJ, you're just coming in for the check. So I don't blame Ortiz. Like, if you're going to earn $5 million against Wilder and have a full opportunity to beat him, because Al Heyman's giving you a 12-week training camp, why would you then step in to fight AJ at short notice at only 5 weeks for the same money? So there goes the credibility for AJ once again for lowballing. When it comes down to it, AJ's about to fight a milkman, a big fat overweight guy who's fought once, I believe, since losing to Joseph Parker in 2016. I don't feel sorry for AJ at all. I think AJ has brought a lot of this BS upon himself. Let's not forget AJ and Dillian Whyte were negotiating for a fight for April 13th. AJ gave him a lowball offer, and he also gave him a fuckery sort of rematch clause that Dillian Whyte refused to fight with. Similar to what he did with Deontay Wilder, another BS sort of rematch clause. And in the words of Dillian Whyte, and same as Deontay Wilder, if you go and knock out the champion, or in Wilder's case, if you become the undisputed champion, why would you not get the lion's share in the rematch? If you've beaten AJ, you should now be the money man. And in both occasions, it looked like AJ was still going to get more money in the rematch than Wilder or Dillian Whyte was. So, AJ can only blame himself for continuously dropping lowball offers and BS rematch clauses to people that he supposedly wants to fight. I think the heavyweight division is very weak at the moment. We've got 3 outstanding superstars. We all know what happened between Wilder and Tyson Fury, a controversial draw. Tyson Fury has ran away to ESPN, and he's now fighting somebody ranked, I believe, 93rd in BoxRec's heavyweight rankings. AJ is now about to fight Andy Ruiz, who I don't even know if he's in the top 100. And Deontay Wilder's fighting his mandatory Dominic Breazeale, who was mandatory for all of 2018 and is finally getting his title shot. The 3 biggest names in the heavyweight division are not fighting each other and probably won't fight each other anytime soon. Tyson Fury believes that AJ and Wilder need to come over to ESPN to fight him, and I think he's going to keep fighting bums on ESPN to avoid a Wilder rematch, and also to avoid any sort of fight with AJ. AJ seems very happy. I mean, if you're going to get 20, 25, even $30 million fighting on DAZN to fight milkmen, why would you get in the ring to fight Deontay Wilder? And Shelley Finkel's already said, look, we've got enough fights over on our side of the street on the PBC for Deontay Wilder to fight for the next 2.5 years. So you could imagine Deontay Wilder, he's got opportunities to fight the likes of, Luis Ortiz again, Adam Kawanaki, he's fighting Breazeale. There's quite a few heavyweights over in that PBC stable. So, if Eddie Hearn and Anthony Joshua aren't going to deliver the terms that Wilder wants, don't expect that undisputed fight. So, yeah, that's my sort of take on it. I think Luis Ortiz is right. If you know you're going to earn $5 million fighting Deontay Wilder in the next sort of 7-8 months, or sort of the beginning of January, February of 2020, it don't really make any sense stepping in last minute to take the same sort of money to fight AJ when you haven't got time to prepare. Because we all know when Luis Ortiz steps in to fight Deontay Wilder in that rematch, he's probably going to be in camp for the best part of 3 months. So, 5 weeks, 5.5 weeks, it's really cutting it thin. And, Luis Ortiz doesn't have a fight scheduled. And you know what most of these heavyweights are like? They don't live the life. Most of them are sitting at home, eating burgers, drinking alcohol, all that good stuff in between fights, and he knows that he's probably not going to be fighting fit. So it doesn't make sense ruining his opportunity. Luis Ortiz has one more chance to win the heavyweight titles, whether that's fighting Anthony Joshua or Deontay Wilder, and what he wants to do is make sure that he's fully prepared. I cannot hate on somebody for that, So what can I say? Ortiz, fair enough. If he's going to fight Wilder and it looks like he's going to be on pay-per-view and he knows he's going to make about $5 million, then fair play to him. Let him go ahead and earn that money. Let me know your thoughts on this one, guys. Do you think it's a duck? Do you sort of agree with me that, you know, if Ortiz has got a rematch with Wilder where he's going to earn $5 million anyway and have a full camp, he's right to sort of turn this one down? Do you think Eddie Hearn should have offered Ortiz the $10 million he asked for, or at least the $6.5 million that Big Baby Miller was going to get? Anyway, leave a comment, hit like, hit subscribe. That's the end of the show because Remstar says so.